Welcome to Toffee TV. We are here to talk about the transfer targets this summer. Not much happening, but we are in June. Before we begin, this video is sponsored by OneFootball, the app that makes it easy to keep up to date with all the latest scores, transfer rumours, and stats all in one place. To download the app, click the link. I am joined by Andy. Andy, welcome. You want to give us your Twitter? I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, I'll reveal myself as I'm at El Pavotti Football on Twitter, the blog. Not famous, it's not that famous, but yeah, it's me anyway.
It's
yeah.
quite well known. It's quite well known.
It's not too bad.
It's good for all the scout reports that you see on players. It's really good. Like you say, we're just getting into the summer now.
Yep.
Not much has happened around these parts, so we'll talk about Everton.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
A lot of rumours every day, which you'd expect at this time.
A lot of agents pushing people. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of these stories are 98%.
Yeah, we're still getting linked with Ibrahimis and that, aren't we? Yeah. So there's those old links are still getting pushed. So yeah, there's still like a lot of links that are obviously not true, but hopefully there is some truth in them.
Yeah. As we go through, I mean, one of the things, and I think it's a concrete thing, is that Everton are in the market for a left-footed right winger.
Certainly are, yeah.
And there's a few of them about, and a few have been pushed to the fore by agents, I'm quite sure, but media as well. And if we just go through the links and then give us your rundown.
I'll have a go, yeah.
And your realisticness of the transfer rumours. Traore, Bertrand Traore at Lyon, obviously we've seen him at Goodison last year.
Yes, did you? Played well last season, yeah. He was better last season than he was this season. Left-footed winger, very left-footed though. Might use his right to control the ball, but otherwise than that, nothing much else. He's inconsistent. I wrote a scouting report on him today. He's inconsistent, but if you're going to if you need more goals to the team, which we do, Dominic Calvert-Lewin's going to, hopefully he'll push on to 10, 15 this season, hopefully. But you need to have more goals to the squad. And Traore is a good finisher, to be fair. Yeah. Like he does, like last season, sort of like up at, in terms of number of shots on target, quite a high number. So he's a good type of wing forward. Passing, that's where we lack, I think, Everton. We're still off the wings. Richarlison's a good goal scorer, but he's still developing the parts of his game. And I think with Traore, he hasn't got bad vision. He's a decent passer, but unfortunately, it's not quite the level that we need.
Right, okay. So
he's also an inconsistent presser as well. Some games he'll be on it, and then some games just a bit lax. And obviously, Coleman had his issues last season when Walcott was in front of him, so we need someone a bit more on the ball than that. Yeah.
I mean, just before we go on to the next, we go through what do you make of them looking for this left-footed right winger? Because Richarlison and Coleman have done excellent on that side. Obviously, we've got Bernard and Brigadine on the left.
I think it's just another option, and also I think eventually we all know that Silva wants to play 4-3-3, and with the best way to play, you look at other clubs, naming no names obviously, but look at other clubs, they play two inverted wingers, so they can cut in, and usually without a number 10, got a lot of space in the middle for them to cut into. And I think that's what eventually Everton would like to play. I don't know how they're going to work that with Gylfi, obviously, but eventually you want those inverted wings, but also then you can also got the option of playing with Charleston in the middle, having another right winger, so it opens the options up for us. I think with that it's sort of that 4-3-3 that we're going to be looking at eventually.
I mean, he did say that when he came in, didn't he? That was what his preferred.
Well, we haven't got a left foot, apart from the left backs, I don't think we've got a left foot in the squad, have we, really?
No, I mean, everyone who plays off the left is right footed.
Yeah, I suppose Vlasic, if he came back in, but that's probably not going to happen either, is it, sadly?
I think we're going to move him on. David Neres is another one. He's really exciting, the Ajax. Yeah. The Ajax winger, he's with Brazil at the moment, and Richarlison looks like he's having words in his ear every day. Doing a bit of agent work, I hope
so, yeah.
But he's a cracking player, isn't he?
Oh, he's top level potential, yeah. You're talking about the play. You look at him. You can look at the Dutch league. Dutch league's not great, but you look at the Champions League against Real Madrid. People like that, fantastic, good touch, good vision, good passer, can score goals. The only issue I have with David Neres, and I think he's a great player. And if you sign him, it's worth the money because 2 years time, excellent. You're going to have an adaptation period because the Dutch league. It's the physicality. It's one of the smaller leagues in Europe when you come over. So there's a lot of patience required of that, and that's why I think Marcel Brands said the same about Lozano last season. Yeah, people don't want to pay vast amounts of money for Dutch league players because there's that adaptation period, and they may not adapt. That's the problem.
Davy Klaassen.
Yeah, example. He's been good in Germany, to be fair to Davy. Yeah, it doesn't mean he's a bad player. Just the Premiership was just too quick for him.
Do you think, just on Klaassen, do you think he would have ever adapted, or do you think it's just not? He's just not the right
I just didn't think he was the right for the Premiership. You know, at the time, you know, a lot of people said, like, Davy, you know, people go, no, Claessen's not that good, you know, beforehand, and I was thinking, oh, he might be able to do it, but then when you sign another 3 number 10s, it made it difficult. Unfortunately for Davy Klaassen, I just think the league was just a bit too quick for him. And, you know, he's one of those players who comes from a system at Ajax. If he came to a team that played like Ajax, he might have adapted quicker.
Yeah,
we just don't. That's not our style.
Yeah, true. So, you know, Neres, I mean, if
you're paying 45, you know, don't be wrong, if you came to me and I was Marcel Brandt, said you can have Neres 45 million, and that was I'd have to take him. The potential's that much, you know, the lad's got that much potential. He's 22 now. Yeah. You know, in 2 years, 3 years' time, you know, you're talking about an £80 million player if he reaches potential. That's, you know, he's that good of a footballer. Yeah. Will he reach that in the Premiership? That's the question. So you question mark that deal because of that, in that sense.
But wouldn't that, just like what you're saying there about the adaptation period, you know, and everything else, wouldn't that kind of fit in to what we're doing then? Because we're looking and saying, we've got Richarlison who plays on the right anyway and is doing well with Seamus Coleman. We've got Bernard. Already the team's set up. So that would allow Neres to pop in and out, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would make sense. And I have said that is something I've said. Yeah, that would make sense because you've already got that settled side and you could just go, well, we're playing a bit of a weaker side this week, give them a go out, you know what I mean? That instead of, and against the top teams, you go with your settled side, I suppose. Yeah. So that would be ideal. I think, though, they want someone who's going to be coming in and pushing straight away. Yeah. You know, because they need to add goals. He's a goal, he'll score goals and he'll get assists, but I think they want someone to make an impact quite quick, really. Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see with that one. I mean, maybe he's not getting the offers they probably thought, and that's why
I guess
he's getting pushed.
Did you have some scene with Mashiri, of course, wasn't he? Which sort of lit fire under the deal. He has got quite a lot of other Brazilians, Bernard being one of them. Yeah. But we'll see. Maybe.
A story that broke over the weekend. Senzil, is that how you say it?
Cengiz Under.
Yeah, see, that's what he's here for. I could pronounce Under. That was okay. Cengiz Under, who is obviously Turkish player playing in Roma.
Yep.
Decent bit of pace about him.
Lovely
nice
pace,
left foot.
Good right foot as well, surprisingly. He's not one of those left-footed players who only stands on his right foot. He is, he crossed the ball, shoot the ball past
the ball. Good at going by players
good
as
fast,
well.
Good, works hard as well, He's good pedigree, You know, if you could get him for like 130 million, that's a really...
I mean, what did you make it at 24.8 million euros, allegedly Everton had
you need to go to about 30, I think, before Roma. So they are looking... I was reading Roma forums over the weekend. They are looking... They want to make some money on one of the players. So they've got Clive. I don't think they'll sell Clive first. And they've got El Shaarawy. I don't think people want him. So they're going to try and make some money to boost the squad. And I think he's the man to make way in that sense. Arsenal were interested as well, but let's be honest, Arsenal haven't got the money to sign that many players in the summer. So they're going to have to be quite careful. I think Under could be a goer. Obviously, it's the Italian press, so you've got to take it with a tiny pinch of salt. But he'd be a good player. You know, someone who can drift in off the wing, but he can also go on the outside. You know, if you get, we talked about Traoré and Neres can use his right foot, but with Traoré, he ends up cutting all the time. Whereas, and he hasn't really got that move to take him away from a player to get the angle on the pass. Whereas Under can go down the outside, down the inside. He's a good player for that. It's the byline and cross him with either foot. So it would be a good option. Yeah.
Would he be one who you'd think would work in?
I think he would. Everton. Yeah, I think he would. I think he could. You know, he could. The physicality. It's obviously the Italian league. We looked at. You know, you've got Mo Salah who came from Roma and did it. But you know, the Italian league sometimes it is a hard adaptation because it's much quicker. But I think he's one of those players, a bit like Philip Anderson. I know he had a bit of an inconsistent season for West Ham, but I think the Premier League would suit him even more than Italy would.
Oh, okay.
You know, because I think he scored. He got 7 assists this season. He got 7 goals last season. I think hopefully combine the two and he could get up towards 8 to 10 goals, 8 to 10 assists for Everton. That'd be something we look.
That'd be really good because obviously I absolutely love Bernard and think he's fabulous, but that's something he has to improve.
Oh no, he's got to, and I think he will in the second year. But it's a whole it's a squad game, isn't it? You know, we need those. You know, even if someone only played 1,000 minutes off the bench or something, they've got 4 goals, 3 assists. That's what we need. You know, that extra. So. We just strengthen depth. Really.
Exactly. Another player who was linked with us last season, Malcolm at Barcelona, been linked again heavily over the last couple of months, and particularly the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
What do you make of Malcolm?
Another, I waxed lyrical about. I did that scouting report for the weekend. I waxed lyrical about him. Such a good footballer. Yeah. He, unlike we just spoke about Under, he's not really right-footed. But what he does is so clever. He can always make that angle for the pass or the cross. So even if he stood on his left foot, he can still make that angle. He's such a clever player. And I know people go,
finishing's not brilliant though, is it?
No, he's a speculative shooter, you know what I mean. But it's the vision off the wing. You know, when Richarlison, I love Richarlison, but when he gets the ball on the wing, sometimes. he hasn't got that. He's not quite. He'll get it, I think, eventually. He hasn't got that vision to like unleash someone, continuously. Whereas if you had someone like a Malcolm, he's always looking to pick a pass, thread the ball through. So if you had, and he also is dribbling. He's one of the best dribblers in world football. The level of percentage or the level of percentage he completes it goes by people very well. I know people saw him at Anfield and like, oh, he's dead left footed, he can't do nothing, but. Forget that. Barcelona don't play the style of football that Malcolm's suited to. The very possession-based game is slow. The best player in the world, if you want to, plays in his position. So if you played him on the right for Everton, you can add creativity, which we need desperately, because that is something. I know we created a lot of chances towards the end of the season, but overall in the season we've struggled to create chances. So I think that's something that we need to add to our team, more chance create. Obviously, Bernard helps with that, Sigurdsson, but we just need that extra push there.
Yeah. Would he be one you'd be?
I'd be very happy with Malcolm. I think that season at Bordeaux, I was watching him at Bordeaux. He was mustard, like absolutely great player. Yeah. And as you say, he's not the finished product though. He's only 22 as well. A lot of these players are not the finished product. So you're looking at them now and thinking, oh, they're good, but they will be good players. He's another player. Sign him now, 40 million. You'd have to sign on. I know a lot of people talk about a loan. I'd look into his work permit. You just wouldn't get it on a loan because the fee's important in that sense. Yeah. So it'd have to be a perm deal, which would be what they want 35, 40 million for him. So it'd be something like that. Yeah, but it's potential. It's whether he's got. I think I read in the Barcelona press that he's going to have a meeting with Barca in the middle of June. So maybe we'll have already signed a player by then. I'm not too sure.
Let's see. One that was really interesting, and I know that Everton have watched them a few times this season, is Andreas Skov-Olsen, young winger. He said he can play up front as well.
Yeah,
he's only 18, I think, but he's got a lovely left foot on him.
Yeah. He plays for Nordjylland, like this club who just play basically anyone under 23. All the players are like basically just like a breed ground for young Danish players, young African players. Got some really, really talented lads there. But yeah, he's a really good player. Play up front, 6'2", but he's not like a 6'2" where he's stiff. He's like good movement, good agility, goes side to side, goes round the man. People have compared him to Riyad Mahrez. I don't think he's quite a Riyad Mahrez type. I think he'd be good up front though, because with that 6'2" frame, you can turn into people, spin off people. He's a good footballer. Yeah, he'd be someone. I think you're looking at about 10 to 15 million pounds. He is one for the future. I wouldn't say he'd start for Everton straight away, but as you say with Bernard and Charleston there, you bring him in, he could have a little game up front, little game on the wing. Yeah, he'd be a good player. Option. I'd like to see Everton sign players like that, because you need to think of forward thinking. If you sign them players now, you're not going to, wait till he goes to Germany, scores 20 goals in Germany, you're paying 50, 60 million, and that's what we need to think ahead of. Yeah. Exactly.
And we haven't done enough of this, have we?
No. That's been the Vlasic thing was a step in the right direction. Obviously, it hasn't worked out for Vlasic, but that was the forward and Onyekuru as well. They were forward thinking moves. We need to do that, but add them to the squad, I think.
Yeah, most definitely. Out of those then, because they're the main players out of those, which one do you want to see Everton parade and put Marcel Brands, if you had a choice, based on obviously your scouting reports and what you know about them?
I'd say just for just to step into the team now, make a difference. I'd say it'd either be under or Malcolm. I'm a Malcolm fan, so I'd say it'd be Malcolm, but Neres, under, Malcolm, any one of them three, I think Everton would be like, you'd be sort of saying that's a great sign this time. Quality sign.
So that's our right wings. Just the way I've written these down. So
no worries.
Right backs. Obviously, Seamus had a very rocky time at times last season, particularly in the middle of the season, and then I thought he finished the season very strongly.
Yeah, I was saying, I was criticised him quite early in the season because the crossing was poor, he was out of position defensively. Second half, I was saying we needed a right back. I sort of pulled back on the right, saying we needed a right back because of how good he was in the second half of the season. I think he's got maybe year two left as a starter. We probably need to start grooming someone now, or even bring someone to challenge him now. That'd be
most definitely. And we have been linked with that, haven't we? I mean, just before we get on to the few names you've got there, Mason Holgate went out to West Brom, played right back a few games, and also right wing back. Done very well. They absolutely love him. I know it's the championship and everything. Is he someone who can push Coleman, or
he's a centre back?
Do you think?
I watched like Coleman in the championship, and he did do well, to be fair to him. But then you look, scouting's two ways now. You obviously got the eye test, and he does pass the eye test. But then when you borrow down to the numbers, there's games where he was completing 50% of his passes from the right back. That's in the Premiership. That's going to be a problem. So going forward, though, he had a couple of assists. It's just not good enough. He's not going to be able to break that down defending. We Coleman go by him, it's just not good. He's a centre back, and the sad thing for him is, I think, that we've got two centre backs. Obviously, Zuma's not with us anymore, but we've got two centre backs ahead of him. He probably would be best at a back three, I think, like Snorky. That's his. So if he went to someone like Sheffield United to play a back three or something like that, he would probably walk into the team. He's a good footballer, but I think there's just a bit of an issue with Everton. He's not. a Premiership right back for me. That's my opinion anyway.
Yeah. Oh, listen, that's what it's about, isn't it?
Yeah, I know people look at him. Yeah,
there, but you're right.
I think he's a centre back. The only thing about being a centre back is position and his instincts just sometimes switch off. Ball comes over his head, he loses a bit. I think unfortunately, the season we saw him most at centre half was obviously the nightmare season, and he was playing next to people like even look at Michael Keane, the difference between one season to the next. So maybe if he came back to Everton and Silva, because Silva is a good positional coach, and he does move people about on the training pitch, and he's someone who concentrates on making people think secondary nature. I think he might improve, but I don't think he's a right back now. That's sadly enough. Yeah.
Okay, so on to right backs then. We'll start with Thomas Meunier. We've been linked with him for about a year, it seems now, or certainly since Christmas time and onwards from there. United heavily linked with him, and Arsenal have been linked with him as well in the last couple of days. What do you make of him?
Oh, he's a good footballer, don't be wrong. He's a really good right back, but he's just not for Everton. He's just not. The age is just the biggest problem for him. He's 27. He's 27. 28 before the start of the season. Yeah. So he just doesn't fit. Why would you bring in a nearly 28-year-old to replace Coleman when he's 29? 30, just doesn't really add up. Don't be wrong. He put walk into the first team. He's a really good player. He's had a couple of injury niggles over the last couple of years, but he's a really, he's a Belgian international right back. He'd walk into the first team, I'd say he's a good player, but he just doesn't fit what Brands wants. I just don't. I don't think it's a goer. I think Man United, he'll probably end up Man United. That screams a Man United sign to me. 27, 28, big name. He'll go into their team because they've obviously got Ashley Young, haven't they? They'll probably replace him, but not for Everton, I don't think.
No. Okay, so off the back of that, Andre Almeida was one who was linked last week. Benfica.
Yep, Benfica.
Right back. I think 8 to 10 million.
Yeah,
was the fee. 28 himself, isn't he?
Yeah, he is 28. Now, you see, when I'm a staunch believer in the under 26 policy that Brands does. But if you're going to be paying 8 to 10 million, it's possible. I'm not saying he will do, but it's possible Brands would consider moves like that as a stopgap, because it's not a lot of money, is it? For know what I mean? No. But again, the age, he's a good. Listen, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, I love Almeida. He's a fantastic crosser of the ball. Right. 12 assists last season. That's his game. He gets the ball down the byline, crosses it in. That's what Everton would
I don't like his moustache, I'm not going to lie. I think that needs to go.
But apart from, as a player, he would fit what we're looking for. Again, though, I wouldn't say he's top level. I wouldn't say, Everton is trying to build something, and I wouldn't say that Andre Almeida is that level that we're looking for.
Yeah. But do you think he's better than Seamus Coleman?
I think Coleman's more suited to the Premier League, that pace, to be able to go past
and that ultimately, that's what we have to ask ourselves with all of these, don't we?
There's some great footballers out there. Just there's a sort of, either you're going to have to be a super intelligent player if you're not quick or athletic in the Premier League, or you need to be quick and athletic. There's not much for middle, as David Class unfortunately found out. You know what I mean?
Well, one name who hasn't played in the Premier League but has just had a year on loan at Wigan is Chelsea's Reece James. He's a young right back, had a good season by all accounts.
Fantastic. They played the season
and got in the team of the season as well, didn't he, for the league?
He's gone to Toulon tournament with England as well. Really, really good right back. Can play centre midfield as well, and the ability of Joshua Kimmich went from centre midfield to right back. There's a bit of synergy between the positions in the fact that if you are a possession-based team, you can get a right back who's coming in from centre midfield. They're used to that ability to pass in and around people, we create triangles, movements and stuff like that. He is a good right back. I think, listen, I love Reece James and I'd love him at Everton. And I must talk about him at least 3-4 times a week on Twitter because people love him, people want him to Everton. I just don't think he's going to leave Chelsea. They'd be insane. I know they've been stupid in the past, but they'd just be insane to let him go at this point.
Do you think? Yeah.
And with the ban as well, would you rather have Cesar, who's a good player, don't be wrong, Azpilicueta, and they've got Zappacosta. If Sarri leaves, Zappacosta's not getting it. I think you'd play, you play Reece James. But again,
they don't seem to do that, Chelsea, though.
I think that's what they need to do if they're on this.
Well, I think they need
that has to be the choice. But again, I'm just going I think I'm probably biased, and since that's what I'd do if I was Chelsea. But they in the past just sold some good. They sold some great. Look at De Bruyne, obviously, and Lukaku and people like that. They're a bit clueless in that sense. But I think now is the time that they make use of some of these young lads. They've got like Tamori, he was at Derby as well. He was at Derby, he's a good player. Abraham, I know people are not in love with Abraham, but he's probably a Premiership level striker. You know what I mean? So they need to make use of them. But if Reece James is offered to Everton, I think Everton snap him up like that, literally. I think everyone knows great on set pieces as well.
What do you think, if we were to get him, and I know we're looking at it slimly, and it's only a link and all that, but if we were to get him, do you think he'd be pushing Coleman straight away, or is it a development stage for him for for a year.
I don't know. I think he pushed Coleman, mate. The problem is it's the psychology of the manager. It's the manager. The manager's obviously seen Coleman for a year. Would he start straight away? Like Coleman, like Digney a couple of games, wasn't it, before he starts getting in? I think by the end of the season, James would be the first choice right back. Yeah, I really do rate him. He's not as quick as Coleman or as agile, but he's much physically stronger. Good defender as well. Really intelligent player, the way he passes the ball. I think that's what we're missing sometimes. I love Coleman. What the bargain essentially, obviously, but it's just he can change games sometimes with that ability down the right wing. But the passing and the crossing is not. It's not there, and it's getting less. And the ability to pick a pass into the box now is becoming when teams are doing the low block of 2 banks of 4. To be able to break the lines is really key. And I think if you're going to get someone like Reece James, that'd help Everton. And that's what I hope if we do sign a new right back. That's something they're able to do is break the lines of passing as well as be able to Coleman go past people.
Can he deliver a ball into the box?
Got a great set piece. Yeah, brilliant delivery. Yeah,
because I know obviously
on the run,
you never want to look at our rivals too much, but they're 2 full-backs.
No, you've got Digney on one side who's a good cross to the ball, and you want Everton, the way we play, and obviously if it's going to be Dominic Calvert-Lewin or someone similar, you want to be good in the air, you want someone to be able to deliver a ball. Yeah, he is, Be able to deliver, that's a key part of him, he's a good pass to the ball.
It's going to be interesting, isn't it, to see what we do there, because obviously John Joe Kenny rumoured to be, Schalke. And
I'd hope so. I think that'd be a good move for him, because I know people go, not everyone from Germany works out and stuff like that, but if you were going to Schalke or something like that, just a different view of football, different tactics, different training methods, it might make him an even better player. And whether he comes back or we make money on him, that's so be it. That's Do you
think just quickly on Kenny? Do you think it benefits him more going to Germany than going in the Championship?
I think he's been to the Championship. Yeah. I think the next level of football, it's just a different level of football. Yeah, and if you're playing against Bayern Munich, Dortmunds of the world, it's only beneficial to you. And David Wagner, I know people obviously didn't like him, didn't love him, and I know he's Klopp's best mate and all that, but he was a really good coach last year at Huddersfield. If you think about the squad there, they were really the talent gap between them and other Premier League teams was big, and he still kept them up. So he's a good coach, and I think it will benefit Kenny going there.
So interesting to see what happens there, obviously, with the right back. Into midfield, obviously, it's ongoing with Andre Gomez. The story coming out the press.
There's different sides to the story.
West Ham and blah, blah, blah. I personally, my opinion is, he goes to West Ham if nobody else wants him.
I think if Everton decide to go a different way, that'd be the. And if Everton want him, I think he'd be happy to come back. I think in the past people know I've had issues with Andre Gomez. I think he's a fantastic player, and his talent level's way up there. Whether he's got the mentality to be that top player and whether he can do it consistently enough is a question. But for the price quoted, 23, 24, 25 million. Good player. Don't be wrong. He's not perfect, but for where we are now, he'd be a good player. And if he can push on next season after adapting to the league, then we might be getting the better player. If he can do it 80% of the season, then he can win games.
You've got question marks over him.
Defensively, he's pretty poor. You look at it. The thing about Andre Gomez is people I know everyone loves stats, and this is why I don't like to go too stats heavy all the time. But if you look at the two sides, as an eye test, Andre Gomez is one of the most eye-pleasing players you can watch. Drifts across the field, lovely movement, clever, intelligent. But then sometimes when you watch him defensively, out of position, makes too many fouls. He misses. People go past him far too often, and the data really shows it up. Now, in terms of Andre Gomez, I think he's got the ability to be much better at everything. That's the thing. If he could be he's got talent to be one of the best midfielders in the world. Whether he'll ever be that, I don't know. That's the problem. But Everton need more in centre. We'll probably get on to it with other players, but Everton need more in centre midfield. I think it improved towards the end of the season because we did that in every category. But at one point in March, we had the 2 least creative centre midfielders in England, which is it's not good, is it? You know what I mean? And they don't need to be creating 50 assists a season or anything like that. They just need to be contributing. It all adds up in the numbers.
He finished with 1 goal and 1 assist, didn't he?
Yeah, and he only created 8 or 9 chances, which is I know that's not his main job. His main job is to recycle possession, keep the ball, and he's a great long passer to the ball, and all that. But just him and Garner need to improve or bring someone else in to rotate with them too, who can add that. But if Andre Gomez is going to come to Everton, I'd be happy. I'm not going to lie about that. He represents the club very well off the pitch as well, which is it's nice. He embodied what we want from the club last season, and I think he wants to play for Everton, which is goes halfway as well as the talent that he can potentially have on the pitch. It makes him a good sign, I think.
And hopefully Marco develops him, because that's essentially what he does.
I think if he gets comfortable, if he could get back to his Valencia, I didn't think he was Barca level at Valencia. Don't be wrong, but I think he was a very good player. If he get back to that, you're talking top 10 midfield in the Premiership. If he can get back to that, of course.
definitely, because he did create and score some goals for Valencia. And
good football. You look at the derby and you look at other games where, I think it was the Cardiff game as well, where he carried the ball 20-30 yards, people just bouncing off him, and then he puts the ball in the box, he runs in the box. If he did that every game, you'd go, what a great signing. But there's 5 or 6 games in the middle of that where he's just on the periphery, which what needs a lot of players like that though sometimes, unfortunately.
Maybe. We'll see what happens with Andre. I personally still think we're the favourites.
I think we will be, yeah. I think he wants to sign for us, as you say, yeah.
So we'll see. A player we've been linked with, I've seen, he's also been linked heavily with Spurs, is Lo Celso at Real Betis. I've seen 88 million to Tottenham. I don't even know where that figure's come from.
Might have fallen off the debate, that,
well, exactly. But he's a good footballer.
Oh yeah, you know,
nice left foot, isn't he?
Progressive passer, really intelligent into midfield, can play 8 or 10. I wouldn't, with Everton, and I'd say Lo Celso, I wouldn't. You'd have to change the formation. This is why I said this the other week. I don't think he'd come to Everton because you'd need to play a 3 in midfield.
Yeah, it's a good
because he, in the double pivot, he's not defensively minded enough to play with a Garner. I know Garner doesn't like the work of 10 men. Obviously, he does, but. You'd still need someone who can cover the back two. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that he would be great sign. Don't be wrong, but I just don't think he suits what Everton doing at this moment in time. Yeah. If you said to me we're playing 4-3-3 next season, Bob Sharon we'd take him straight away. But it's just the fit is not quite right for us. Yeah. And I think I think they bought it for 23 million pounds, and they want to triple that. So that's. I know Everton have got money, but I don't think Everton are going to be looking to spend 80 million on players in the season or anything like that.
No chance. But do you think he could do it in the Premier League?
Yeah, hyper intelligent footballer. Yeah. He's the type of player who's always he can break down. Like he's not like David Silva, but you know that type of player who probes and he's continually breaking down defence. Just smart, puts balls where people can run into space. He's just one of those players who break things down. Similar to another player who's been a bit less forward, but Rabiot plays for PSG. Yeah. He's similar. He puts balls. He can break down defences and stuff like that. Andre Gomez can do that, but maybe not as he hasn't shown us the full level of his capabilities. But that's the type of player they are. Yeah.
Well, you just mentioned Rabiot.
Yeah.
He was linked with Everton over the weekend.
Possibly maybe to get Man United to bump the money up.
Well, of course, listen.
I'd love him, don't be wrong. I'd said
he was on his way to Barca a few months ago, apparently.
As I said on Twitter yesterday, it'd be one of the coups of the century if Everton get a player like that, because he's literally, he's 24 now, he's going to be he's on the cusp of world class. Sees not to world class footballer. Yeah. I just don't see it. He wants 188 grand a week. That'd be a hard pay structure, wouldn't it? But then again, you need players like that if you're going to step up. If you get, like Brand said last season, like he wants to bring players in who, you go, I'm surprised we could sign him. He wants to try for players who don't think they could, think they're possibly better than Everton. Like Bernard, I thought to go Madrid to Bernard, we got Bernard, so you never know.
But I mean, what kind of play, just for people who are
he can play 6. He can play 6 or 8. He thinks he's a box-to-box midfielder, but he's realistically, Man City probably should have looked at Rabiot as a replacement for Fernandinho. Not as good defensively, but he can do that role, and he's such a smart player. But he won't play that. He wants to be a box-to-box midfielder, and that's the issue. That's where he's fell out with PSG. That's part of the problem. But again, smart football, just loves to put the ball, passing the ball. Great way of passing, great dribbler, carries the ball really well. Smart defensively as well. Again, a lot of these type of players, the fact that we've been linked with them 3 players shows that, obviously I think Andre Gomez will be the favourite to be signed, but we're looking for that type of midfielder who can break down a side and who can link defence and attack. Yeah,
but your out of 10 is about a 2.
Yeah, but just because of he said Spurs were too small for him, and now
Did he?
Yeah.
So we've got no chance. Then.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's his mum. That's talking.
Yeah,
so
of course.
Who knows? But maybe I don't think we want the aggro with his mum either. That's just that's a lot of aggro.
We've been there before, haven't we?
Well, yeah, exactly. And all that stuff. Yeah.
And Ndombele is another one. I've seen a bit of him for France against Bolivia the other day.
Another absolutely outrageous footballer. Yeah.
So he's 21.
So he's like He's like he doesn't put the numbers up. Gay does off the ball, but he's another one who just breaks up play, gets on the ball. But he's one like Gay who can just like carry the ball for the length of the page and break down teams with passing. Just a great all-round football. They got him for 8 million about 2 seasons ago from Angers. No one even seen him, and then they got him, and then look at him now. He's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I'd love to say again. It's going to be 70 odd million. They're looking to sell Watford, Kia and Ndombele, and I think Traore, another winger, looking to sell maybe even Depay. We've been linked with Depay as well, not fussed on him, but yeah. But yeah, and Ndombele again. If Ndombele and Gay together, that'd be like an absolute world in midfield. We win the ball back consistently. And I guess you couldn't have him and Gomez as a midfield because I think they'd sort of what's the word? They sort of negate each other, because in Don Belly people think, oh, he's a defensive midfielder. He's not really. He's a box-to-box midfielder who likes to get forward. Whereas, because they have Toussaint, who we were also linked with, weren't we? Who sits for them. And I think that if you had him and Gomez in midfield, they couldn't really play together. You need someone who doesn't mind sitting a bit.
Yeah. If Garner was to go, who do you think's an ideal replacement for him? Who do you see?
The one I always say to everyone is Ibrahim Sangare, who plays for Toulouse, 6'3", puts up similar numbers to Garner. Yeah, it's like 4 tackles a game, two interceptions. You know, one of those. He's not raw, but he's rawish. He's carries the ball well. He's one of the best in midfield dribblers in Europe. You know, as I say, more athletic, more strength. I think that's what we're missing sometimes in midfield. If you look at the Fulham game and a couple of other games, got bullied off the ball in midfield. That's why I think Silva was interested in Decore, someone like that. Yeah. And, you know, he could be a Decore type Sangare, but he can do any role. He can play 6, he can play 8, he can play, you know, the box-to-box role. So he adds that. He's only 21 as well. I think he'd be someone we're looking at. I wouldn't be surprised if he hadn't crossed the desk of Marcel Brands. Whether we go for him or not, that's a question. But yeah, he'd be someone they definitely look at.
For someone like him, I suppose, wouldn't be the numbers we're talking about with
21, 22 million, yeah. Something similar to what they paid for the West Ham, paid for Diop, the centre-back, something like that. Yeah, 23
makes sense.
He'd be a lovely player to sign, yeah. I'd say, and then you could say Garner, you know, sort of, you'd have a plan of succession then for him and Garner to change over,
Yeah, interesting. On to strikers, because I think this personally for me is the key position this summer. Really is. I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin, won fantastic last season. I think his improvement from about October to how he was come April was incredible. Yeah. Really. Doesn't score enough goals, but misses chances.
My issue with Dominic Calvert-Lewin is I think he's come on, I should say, he's come on leaps and bounds. Like, you know, he's getting in better positions now. Yeah. The ball at his feet, he panics. Yeah. The composure's just not there. Maybe because he's 22 and stuff like that, but it's going to have to come eventually if he's going to be like a good Premier League striker. So can we wait around for that? Probably not. As you say, it is an important role. Obviously, I'm of the opinion that creativity is 1A, 1B with striker, because we're a mid-tier creative side. We need to get better at that, but with a better striker, make a better movement, you're going to get better chances for people.
But you're absolutely right. Me and Ped said this numerous times last season. We just don't create enough. We did near the end. We started averaging, I think it was about 18, 19 shots a game near the end. But that, even in like November when we were playing well, we weren't creating loads of chances, were we? And that you're absolutely right. We've got to turn over 20 chances a game. You've got to.
If you want to get in the top 6, you're gonna, you know, obviously you get outlier teams. Arsenal didn't create loads of chances this season, but even so, they've got 2 world-class strikers, who can score 20 goals. But you know, that's the difference between them and us. We need to be able to get to that level with a striker where we've got a striker who can score us. Maybe, saying we need a 25-goal striker. How many 25-goal strikers are in world football? If we had someone who scored 15, 18 goals...
Well, hang on, did anyone get 25 in the Premier League?
Exactly.
3 of them got 22.
Exactly. Well, So you need a player who's going to get you 15 plus. Yeah. How many of them are about? How many of them could get and get? That's obviously the issue. It is, I would say, and as someone who watches a lot of players, the hardest position to find a good player in, because you go, oh, he's a good player, but that's in Germany, or that's in France, or that's in Belgium. Because obviously we've seen all these strikers come over here before and they score 3-4 goals in the season.
But the counter to that, I suppose, is Richarlison. Richarlison coming for Fluminense. He got 5 goals for Watford. Yeah, we've got him. He ends up with 14.
He's going to score more next season, probably. And
because he's like you were saying right at the start of this, with as an inverted strike. He's a lad though that finds himself in the right positions, and this is why I think Marco Silva tried him through the middle, because he naturally takes up goal scoring positions.
He's such a clever player, like
doesn't
that,
he?
Yeah.
You know, where I don't think Dom does that. Dom holds the ball up a million times better than Richarlison will.
Yeah, Richarlison's sloppy with possession.
He's a bully in the air, Dom. Which Richarlison
hard working, you know what I mean?
He works hard. His touch has got better. But you're right that just think of Fulham away. Yeah. Think of Crystal Palace away. And then 2 games alone, he fluffed 4 good chances.
Exactly, and it's about composure, and that's what that's what makes ice in your veins, as they call it. That's what makes you a top striker. Yeah. And when Dominic Calvert-Lewin gets in for the goal, he's like between 2 minds, should I pass it, should I cross it, where should I hit it? Where you just want to play it, like Defoe used to say, you hit it early. If you get the chance,
don't let
to keep it set. I think that's where and that's what we need to find, someone who can maybe you don't want to stunt Dominic Calvert-Lewin's progression. So maybe instead of going for someone who's exactly like him, So, or you get someone who's smaller, quicker, better movement, someone a bit of a change. It depends what you're looking for. But then you've got Richarlison who can also play centre forward. So we've already got someone like that. So it depends how you weigh it up, I guess.
I think we need another one. I don't think. Listen, Cenk Tosun isn't going to do it.
If Cenk Tosun played a 4-4-2, he'd probably be great.
He's
just someone to link off, but he's just not a man who's going to play up front and get you 10 to 15 goals. I like Cenk. He puts a shift in, but it's a lot of hard work that he has to put in to get like these chances.
But if you look at him, I mean, I suppose that one of the things me and Pedest I've been looking at lately is, would he get in the top 6? Would he get in anyone above us?
That's always the question when you say don't say now, but you say in 2 years, is he going to be good enough for top 6? Is he going to be good enough for Champions League? Because that's what Everton need to think about these things.
Of course.
Okay, exactly. So Tosun's not. No,
he's not. But Dom might be.
Potentially,
because it's growing, isn't it?
But if he never gets to be our starting, like I say, you had Dom coming off the bench on the 60th or 70th minute Champions League game. He'd run people ragged. That's an option. But that's not getting ahead of ourselves with Champions League. But that's what you need to think. He's got the room, the room to grow, the room to progress and grow into, and that's the type of players we need. We need players who are good now, but also they're going to be even better as we go on.
100%. So off the back of that, then, because when we're not under any circumstances saying sell Dom, because let him progress.
He's at this moment in time without someone coming in. He's our number one striker. Yeah, exactly.
So first choice, a lad whose name cropped up quite a few times is young Kevin Augustin at Leipzig. Yeah, come from PSG. I mean, what do you make of him? He doesn't play that much, but his goal scoring record ain't bad compared to games played. He can score goals, and he gets in the. He's one of the. I wouldn't say he's exactly like Henry, but he loves to play in the channel. He loves to cut on side on his right foot. He's quick, good movements, gets in the box. He's a decent passer, good vision. The problem with Augustin, I say, is they play 4-2-2-2 at Leipzig, and he plays as a 2. He has played as a 1, but not that often. So can he come in? Would he be more of a player? He plays an inverted winger as a bench option. It's fit sometimes, and the problem with it also with Augustin is Ralph Rangnick, who's like one of the genius manager, who's big into like pressing and tactics. That's why he's left him out, because he doesn't press hard enough, and he's a tactical liability, he says, in that team. I think the price has come down now. We've quoted 40 million last season. It's now 18, 19 million. Might be worth it as a backup striker, or as someone who can come off the bench, or even someone who can play in games. I wouldn't say he'd be the difference between top 6 and where we are.
And where we are. But if he could add, Dom got 10, 12, he got 8, 7, 8, that gets you towards that target that you need. So he'd be good. He'd be a decent addition, but he's not like the one that's going to make you go, that's the one, that's the striker. The one you're looking for, essentially. Yeah,
essentially. Well, this fella would be, but I don't think we've got any chance of getting him. Timo Werner, he was obviously linked again last week. He's been linked. I think it's just his agent trying to get some bites.
Well, they're waiting for Bayern, aren't they? They've agreed a deal with Bayern. Bayern won't pay the 65 million. He's only got a year left on his deal. I think Bayern want to pay 30 million, which Leipzig obviously just like, no. Because what they're doing next season, Leipzig are looking to try and push for the title next season, because they've got Nagelsmann now. And they're thinking, if we make, we win the title, or we make get far in the Champions League next season, it'll make it the money. That's what they're thinking.
But he's a hell of a player.
Oh yeah, international striker. He's capable. He goes through patches though sometimes of not scoring. It depends, but if like at the end of the season we became this like really good counter-attacking side on the Silver, that's the perfect striker for it, because the pace is just skillfully clipping balls into him. He just go past defenders. That's what you need. So he'd be ideal. But I just don't think
it's a pipe dream.
Yeah, sadly, a lot of people want. I think if he asked Everton fan base, I think Werner be dead high on the list of everyone who everyone wants. Just not realistic, unfortunately.
Sadly, you never know.
You never know. You
never know. Another one who we will link. I know a lot of people like is Seb Haller.
Fantastic player. Yeah. Another one we could have got a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, still get him now, I suppose. Came on, scored a pen in the shootout against Chelsea, didn't he, in the semi-final?
Got one clear off the line,
he's a lad who's a handful as well.
He's similar to like Dominic Calvert-Lewin, good athlete, tall, 6'3", good in the air, can hold the ball up, bit more composed on the deck with the finishing though. So he'd be an upgrade on Dominic Calvert-Lewin at where Dominic Calvert-Lewin is at this point. I think he could score 15 goals in the Premier League with right service. I think he's the type of player who could make a difference. He's ready for that next step as well. I think he put on Instagram yesterday he's leaving. He said goodbye to Frankfurt. So I think Dortmund, a couple of other clubs are interested. I don't know anyone in England, but I assume he'd be on our list again. He's the type of player who fits that Silver system. Someone who could play as a sole number 9. I know he played a lot of the year with Jovic and Rebic for Frankfurt, but I think he could hold the line really well. And obviously, I'd love Jovic as well, but that deal's already done to Real Madrid.
That's sailed, that's ship. But he's one. I've looked at him for a while and thought he looks physically like he could do the job. But again, it's.
I think they want 35-40 million for him as well.
That's in this day and age, it's worth it.
It is, yeah. The only thing I ever said, like the biggest question I have about that, this is more of a broader view about Brands, is what's his idea for this season? Is obviously you can talk about the top six. There's gaps opening up where they're ready to be. We can push the top six. Does he change his plan and go, right, we'll sign a Haller, we'll sign an Ndombele, just the names, and we push for it? Or do I bring in these players that I was going to bring in anyway, who might take a couple of months to settle in, and then next year will be even better and better, and we'll get better?
Does he want to?
He's got a balance. He's got a balance it, yeah. Because obviously Mashiri is going to give him some money so long as we're getting improving. So he's got to prove himself in a sense. I know he's done so well at PSV, and the first year was great. He did great for us, but he's still got to prove himself. He's got to balance that. And yeah, I wonder if he's going to spend 40 million on a striker, or we're going to, I know we've been linked with Shea Adams. I know people go, oh, when we, you know what I mean. But as an alternative to Dominic Calvert-Lewin, as someone who can play in behind, because Dominic Calvert-Lewin wants to feet. Yeah. As a 1-2, I don't think he scored 10-15 goals in the Premiership. I'm going to be honest here, but
do you know?
Not now. He's still quite. The funny thing about Shea Adams is he got released from the academy when he was about 18, and then he floats around a couple of courses. I think he went to Coventry and then Sheffield United. And he's still a bit of a raw player, but he's got, and he plays in the 2 as well at Birmingham. He plays 4-4-2, but so knock it down. But he's someone who's different than Calvert-Lewin.
22 goals.
Yeah, he drives up towards the end of the season. But yeah, is someone you can play in behind and you just offer something different off the bench. That might be an option. So that's something he's got to weigh up. But I think everyone wants that number one striker to come in. And I think that's what we need. I think Calvert-Lewin could be brought along and play the cup games, and we can come off the bench and start the odd game. But we need someone who's a number one striker.
So you said to me before about Augustin, he's not the one you want. If for you,
this is the hardest question though, because I've said, I think I've wrote a couple of pieces. I've said Haller, Haller be the one.
Is there anyone else then that you've not?
I like Rashica, who plays for Werder Bremen. He's a different type than all these. He's small, quick, works a lot of pace and movement, someone like that. I guess it depends what you. I personally, I know a lot of people think he's better wing. I see Richarlison playing as a centre forward long term. I really do.
Do you?
I watch Richarlison and I think he's got all the potential in the world. Do you know what I mean? He's probably one of the players who've got the most potential to come at. We've signed probably over the last 10 years, but he's better when he's inside the box.
Yeah.
When he's outside, his passing's still a work in progress. His crossing's still a work in progress. The data backs all this up. By the way, you want to have a look at it. It's still a big work in progress. He loses the ball far too much as well. I'd rather lose the ball in the box than lose the ball on the wing. You know what I mean?
Of course, yeah.
And the closer you can get into goal, the more devastating he's going to be. And that's why I think eventually, if you play those inverted wingers in being one of them, he's more of a second forward then, isn't he? That'll be better for him instead of playing as a wide man in a 3.
Do you think, based on that, and obviously looking behind the numbers then, that Silva's plan might be actually just to push him back inside and use this left-footed winger on the
if it was a 4-3-3, I think you'd see Richarlison at centre forward more, because then he could drop into space behind. Gylfi is imperative to Everton at the moment, and I think he'll be in Everton's team for the next 2 seasons at the very minimum, because the goal you can't take that if you take the 13 goals off the team, it's going to be hard to replace that 13 goals. So, but with Gylfi playing there, it sort of bunches the midfield backwards, and it creates, there's no space in the middle, which the wingers can't cut into because there's midfielders in the way there. So if you add just the 3 up front, like Liverpool do, well, I know we don't want to mention them, but they have all that space between the midfield, and that's what the space they expose. And I think that's where Richarlison would be dropping into where Gylfi stands to get the ball and run at defenders. We can't do that in this current team, so that's why I think he'll probably stay on the wing for now, and then maybe as we transition maybe into different systems, he might move more into centre forward. He'll be playing centre forward for Brazil,
probably,
because they've got Neymar, Willian, Neres, and people like that. So he'd likely play centre, because I don't think they've got actually a natural striker on the side, as far as I can think.
Firmino's there, isn't he?
Yeah, he's been off the boil with his injury, so I think he'd be the backup striker for Firmino. If Firmino's not fit, he'll play centrally. And
then again, he can expose himself there to scoring goals.
It's learning that position though, because I think he's definitely has played wing for most of his career, so it's learning that position. And I think obviously when you're a wing, you get a lot more of the ball than a centre forward, so it's like trying to get used to that fact that you're making runs, you're never getting the ball and stuff like that. It'll take time for him to get used to that. But yeah, I think Seb Haller would be I'm trying to think of other strikers. There's other ones who'd be more speculative, like there's a lad there. He probably needs to do the year in Jeremy Mateta. He plays for Mainz. Jean-Paul Mateta, 6'3", really, big, strong striker. Again, he's quick though. Scored 15 goals this season. So some people, but again, he's one who's going to take time to bed in. The Premiership might be like suited to him right at this point. There's in Italy, people go about Belotti. Belotti would be a decent sign, and I don't know. I'm a bit wary of Italians coming to the Premier League. They're not really. Not since the 90s anyway. They're not really. It's quite it's a much hard league. You don't get as much time on the ball. He's a good striker though. If you're someone like that from Italy,
Icardi.
Oh, even with his wife being the way she is, the problem with him is he wants a new contract every summer, doesn't he? So, but he's a great player. He'd score 10, 15, 20. He'd score 20 goals in the Premier League, no problem. Yeah. Right, it's service though. Again, we can, we can get Haller in. We need Bernard Tupper's game. I know Sigurdsson's got the most assists this season. He needs to take control of games more. Yeah. He's got the ability to do it. Just he needs to do it more. That's what we need, more creativity all round. I think a new right back has helped that as well. Obviously, Digne will get better next season as well. So it's not promising. Obviously, we've mentioned all these names, and there's obviously the ideals. We might not sign any of these names. We might sign completely different names, but it's at least we sort of got an idea of what they want, and I think they have an even better idea of what they want. So hopefully, we're going to be able to fix these positions and get.
But that to me is the most exciting thing, I suppose, going forward. That there's a plan they're trying to follow. There's a formation, a way of playing that they're trying to follow, and that makes identifying players
much easier,
a lot easier, and means your opportunity for success goes up because you bring it in specifics. Whereas what Everton have done in the for years is be speculative with it and just get it. Always a good player in.
Yeah, I think that I speak to other scouts and stuff like that, and they, and a lot of them preach that you buy for the club's philosophy, not the managers, which is like what we're doing now. Brands has got a philosophy for Everton. Obviously, Marco Silva fits that because he wouldn't be manager otherwise.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But if Silva wants to play and Marcel Brands doesn't think he suits Everton's future, he won't be signed. That's the point. So going forward, we will sign players that fit Marco Silva's system, but the next manager will be similar-ish to Marco Silva, similar style, because that's what we're trying to move forward with, the Everton type style. So I think that's how, as you say, like other teams, we'll be able to identify players much easier of what we want.
And that'll increase our opportunity to grow, won't it?
Well, hopefully, I don't, obviously I think, people are going to be still patient next season. I don't think we're going to come out all guns blazing, but I still think by Christmas you should see a night and day from this year to next year again. Yeah, I think I think a lot of people, when Silva was having that rough point, I did say to them, he's probably got until next Christmas to show like the real improvements. And I think we showed enough improvement this season that's extended into next season now anyway. He's not under any danger, but I think we'll see by Christmas like a really top improvement. I think you'll see more consistency like we did at the end of last season towards Christmas,
And if we get that, then naturally we'll be pushing them.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing I'd say is that we also need to develop a plan B, because that way we play against Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool, we'll work against them teams. But when it's two banks of four, we need to be able to break teams down, which is why we're going to be signing better players who can break teams down. So hopefully we'll be, I think that's what the plan is, to like be able to play different styles.
There you go, full extensive chat there about our targets with Andy. Big thanks to Andy for coming in here, mate. Appreciate that. Let us know what you think in the comments section below about any of the players, or maybe we've missed some. We're just talking about the players that Everton have been linked with so far this summer. It's June now. It'll all be kicking off soon. So if there's anyone who you're looking at and going, you haven't mentioned him, and he'd be great for Everton, put in the comments below. Like Sousa, we haven't talked about Sousa, who's a good prospect and all.
He will be for the first team anyway, so it's probably not. He'd be sort of someone we bring. I don't think he'll sign now, as we probably discussed previously. But if he was going to be bringing, he'd be someone who'd be brought on for a year, and then he'd be like your natural six eventually in that 4-3-3, I guess. So
we'd probably give him a bit longer and then go after him. So anyone else, let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for watching. See you later.